In this video, I'd like to illustrate some important ideas in strategy by using the movie The Hunger Games as an illustration. In this movie, the heroine, Katniss Everdeen, is forced to take part in a fight to the death with 23 other teenagers. In the scene in question, Katniss is put into an elevator that takes her up to the surface, where all the contestants have to stand on an individual podium until the whistle blows, at which point they can do whatever they like. In front of them is a field of different types of kit, spread in front of a building called the cornucopia. The kit ranges from anonymous rucksacks with unknown contents to valuable weapons such as spears or bows. And the bow is of particular interest to Katniss because she is a great archer. So Katniss faces a decision. What should she do? And what does this have to do with strategy? Well, the first thing she has to do is to make sense of her environment, something that any strategist has to do. Ideally, what she'd do is look at absolutely everything, look inside every rucksack, check out every weapon, so that she knows exactly what the options are facing her. But of course, this isn't practical. She doesn't have the time. Just like a strategist, it's not feasible to get all the information you would like. So she has to simplify using something we as strategists would call segmenting the market, or, in Katniss's situation, segmenting the environment. Segmentation is a way of simplifying a complex situation down to something more manageable, where you can make decisions. So if you take the example, say, of a bank, it might segment between retail banking and business banking, or between loans and deposits. And then it can make major decisions about how much do we want to invest and develop our business banking or our retail business, or our loans versus our savings business, without having to go through all the micro detail of every possible option you could take in each of those areas. So it's a way of making big decisions that drive strategic direction, and you can worry about the details later. So Katniss might segment the many diverse options in front of her into the following three categories. Number one, rucksacks nearby that she could grab quickly. Number two, stockpiles of interesting weapons clustered up near the cornucopia. Number three, a particularly interesting stockpile which contains a bow and arrows. Having segmented her situation, Katniss now needs to use two more ideas in strategy to help her make her decision. The first idea is market or segment attractiveness. And in Katniss's case, that means how attractive would it be to get hold of a rucksack, or to get hold of some weapons, or to get hold specifically of the bow? Well, clearly it would be most attractive to have the bow, and that would suggest that on the basis of attractiveness, she should go for that. However, a second concept we use in strategy is competitive advantage, or how likely Katniss is to win. For example, if she goes for the rucksack nearby, it's very likely that she'll be able to get it. If she goes for the bow, she's much less likely to get it because lots of other competitors are likely to go for it too. And the same is true for the other weapons stockpile. So not only does she run the risk of not getting it, she might even get killed in the process of trying. The equivalent for a bank might be to choose to focus on the retail business, for example, because you had a strong brand or many branches that gave you a competitive advantage. So to help Katniss make the choice, we can use a simple matrix, sometimes called the GE matrix or the McKinsey matrix. On the vertical axis, we have the attractiveness of the segment, and on the x-axis, we have how likely it is that Katniss can win, or for a business, that would be competitive advantage. Each segment can be positioned on this matrix. And this visual display allows us to see how the component parts of a business, or in this case, the choices faced by Katniss, might differ. Clearly, Katniss should steer clear of the weapons stockpile. It's not as attractive as the bow, and she's got a lot less chance of getting it than the rucksack. The choice really is between the bow, which is an attractive option, but she's unlikely to get it, and the rucksack, not so attractive, but a better chance of winning. And businesses often face the same type of choice. Do they invest in their core, mature businesses that may not be so attractive? Or do they go into new, more exciting businesses where they have less experience and thus less chance of winning? For example, the banks might have viewed retail banking and their traditional corporate banking as somewhat less attractive, although they were definitely their core business and they had a very good chance of winning. They already were leaders. That drew them into investment banking, which was a completely different business. And many of them acquired investment banks, built investment banks, even though that wasn't their core, and therefore there was a bit more risk involved. As we know, some of them have worked out successfully and have developed strong investment banking arms. Others, it's been a real problem and they've had very significant losses in those new businesses. So it's a difficult trade-off for businesses to make. As with a strategic decision in business, the final choice between these two normally requires some judgment. Should she go for the safer option or risk everything on the attractive bow? To find out, you'll have to watch the movie. Fortunately, not all decisions in business are life and death, but it still helps to be able to step back and look at the situation a little more carefully. If you'd like more ideas on how to do this, please check out the notes to this video, which will have links to other videos and other content. Thank you.